Why is switching to the metric system never an issue in U.S. elections anyways? I'm serious. They signed all these trade agreements that they pretend are about breaking down tariff systems, even though they're not. What they're really about is, giving, certain industries or corporations or cartels, exclusive access over this. It's they are without a doubt, without exception, they are every single one of them are protectionist agreements. And if you look at who came up with them, it was all the conservatives that came up with them, right? What happened was a bunch of conservatives got together and they decided that they were going to call protectionist agreements free trade. And they've confused the fuck out of everybody since then. It's like right out of Orwell, right? But do you know how much money they could save by getting rid of the British imperial system of measurement? Surely they must realize they've lost this war. And it's nothing like Vietnam either, it's far worse. The rest of the world has moved so far past them on this. I just want to see the reaction, really. I want to see the accusations from Fox News. I want to see live interviews with people that rather think they're being invaded by France and Canada. British imperial system. Now we kick them limeys out. I speak American, and I measure things in American. And they can take their statues and their fries with them. I don't know. It's like everything else. That was mostly stream of consciousness, or everything else on this channel. But seriously, they'd save at least billions overall by not having to label and measure things differently for the U.S. market, trillions even, depending on your time scale. All countries except Burma, Myanmar, Istanbul, Constantinople. Liberia and the United States of America have officially adopted the metric system, although Liberia has seen some introduction of metric units, and in 2013 Burma formally. So the United States is the only country in the world. And of course, in face of that, the mainstream media makes fun of Lincoln Chafee for promoting the crazy idea that they not be the only country in the world that uses British imperial metric systems. I really suspect Americans don't realize. They don't, it just isn't, they're just not cognizant of how expensive and annoying it is for the rest of the world to convert things into 18th century units in order to sell things there. Or how expensive it is for American producers to need to convert things into modern units for export. If they actually understood the economics, maybe they'd be a little less willing to ridicule the proposition, because it actually doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, I said 18th century, not 19th century. Normally when I'm making fun of you, I say 19th century. It's actually 18th century, guys. And if they really cared about common standards, if the free trade rhetoric wasn't just a bunch of propaganda, this would have been like the first thing, right? It would have been like the first line in the FTA. It's, if you're looking for an argument to demonstrate how obvious it is, just point that out. Yeah. Oh, really? You think the TPP is a free trade agreement? Where's the part about switching to the metric system? Oh, it's not in there. Okay. I really don't think it can be about common standards, then, can it? Clearly, it's not. What it is about is containing China. Psst. That's right. It's an aggressive military strategy to encircle China.
Have taken our daughters back to his grandfather's village, and they have seen a part of themselves. So the partnership with this continent means a great deal to us, and we've seen the power, the potential. I mean, to meet these young leaders and to see how hungry they are.
That was really something else. That was Biden level gaffe. That was Well, at least she's not reading a teleprompter, right? There's no way they would have. No way they would have let her say that. But yeah, that's you wouldn't expect anyone besides Joe to say something like that. That's or maybe even Bush. Yeah, that's. It's reminiscence about the day that you went to Africa and saw how hungry the leaders were. It's just a bad choice of words, that's all. So it's almost 1, and I've done all the morning things that I need to do. It's about like 6 or something. I was planning on going to a show tonight, but my head is not feeling good. Um, it's a sinus headache. It's weird because what I'm experiencing is that my sinuses are opening, so it's like my breathing is clearer. I've felt this coming on for a couple of days. It may end up climaxing in another one of those brutal headaches like I had earlier. Kind of feels like it. I know that the cause of this is the shift in weather. That's something that I have a long history of. Whenever the weather shifts, I get kind of funny feeling. So, right now I'd say that, man, this is going to be a very loud concert. I don't, if my head hurts, I'm not going. So, and in fact, I'd say right now, it's tentative at best. I'd say unlikely. Unless my head clears at some time in the next couple of hours, I'm not going. So, what am I gonna do then? Um, I finished the boring part of interview 14 yesterday. I haven't done the write up yet, though. I'm gonna wait until I do the listening, until I do the write up. I have the boring part of interview 15 to do. That's the actual record. Um, and maybe some recitations. Before I get to listening, I'm gonna want to do a recitation rounds before I start listening, one way or the other. Either today if I stay in, or tomorrow if I don't. So, another boring day. I was hoping it'd be a little more exciting, but my sinuses do not appear to be cooperating. We'll see. And like I say, it's the humidity's come down dramatically. The temperature, I mean, it's not. It's a cool day today. It's not going to be that warm. So, it's a dip, right? It'll be warm again next week, so it's not the end of the summer or anything. But it seems like whatever air mass had moved itself in has moved out. As mentioned, I have a history of noticing these kinds of things. When the rain mass comes in, I'll get really bad stomach aches. I didn't get one this summer, did I? I normally get them in my stomach, but it seems like recently it's been more in my head. So maybe it's shifted. I don't know. I think it has to do with the shifts in air pressure. But I know that I'm often left just I can't do anything. I just gotta lie down whenever it hits like that. So yeah. Another minor possibility as a cause might be the shift in diet. But I mean, it's not really a big shift in diet, right? I'm eating salami instead of salami. Sorry, salami instead of tomato. I'm still getting, all my soy. I'm getting my bananas. I'm getting my strawberries. What's in a tomato? Oh, there's quite a few things in a tomato, isn't there? I don't know. We'll see how long this lasts for. I mean, if it ends up lasting for days, I guess I'll have to change my diet up probably. But I mean, I wouldn't want to have just salami. Well, I'm not having just salami sandwiches. I'm having the smoothie and the salami sandwich, right? Still, I wouldn't want to do this for more than a few days. So, but then again, let's think about this carefully, right? What do kids have for lunch? Sandwich. Make them a smoothie and then a sandwich. It's not. Having a salami sandwich at lunch can't be that unusual, right? Yeah, I don't know. Then again, malnutrition is not that unusual either, is it? My calculation is that this is fine for the short run, but see, like I said though, my sinuses are clearing right out. I don't know. It's is it even the weather? Sorry, is it even the air? I know it's probably the weather, but is it even the air conditioner? Like it seems to have toned down a little bit because it's not as warm out, right? I should associate a sinus clearing with positive effects, right? But I guess, if it's a shift in pressure, my brain is reorganizing itself in the space. My understanding is that your brain is basically a liquid, right? Not exactly, but kind of. So it's going to expand in a... I know that's such a weird way to think about your brain, but it's kind of true. So if the weather leads to a contraction, it's going to... Your brain will squeeze. It's just physics. And that's kind of what it feels like is happening. I don't know. I know the astronasal passage clarity is actually kind of nice. Even if the headache's annoying. Anyways, I'm going to get back to doing something or other. And see where it takes me. So Trump opened his mouth on the tax thing, and I think this is what I've wanted to see for a while, so that we can have a real election about real issues now. Economics. Because I know we all know Trump has these flat out stupid economic policies. Let's have it's the economy. Let's do it. See, what I'd like is for the Democratic candidate to spin this around on him and claim she's going to increase taxes on the wealthy and also on corporations. Up here in Canada, the Liberals won an election by promising to increase taxes on the wealthy. We didn't get the corporations part out of them. But yeah. I know better. I wouldn't believe it anyways. I mean, she's saying some stuff about it, but I mean, it's like, the last thing the country needs right now is lower taxes at the top rate. It's like the last thing they need. It needs to be taking it to higher income tax levels to spend on crumbling infrastructure and convert the economy away from fossil fuels. The problem with the stimulus plan was that it was too small. They need more of this on a deeper level, and they need to generate the revenue to do it. A strong candidate would annihilate him on his tax policy, which is clearly disastrous and flat out stupid. It's 2016, and dipshit Donald here still thinks tax cuts create jobs. He's still pushing Reaganomics. I mean, okay, nobody really took Reaganomics seriously in the first place, but now we tried it, right? It's one thing for all these economists to be yelling at you and saying, "No, you idiots." At least there was the response. Well, we haven't done the experiment. We have now done the experiment, and they were a bunch of idiots. So does he really think that? Of course he doesn't really think that. I don't think anybody really ever thought that. He just wants to give himself a tax cut. And he's telling you that, by giving himself a tax cut, he'll create jobs for you. Of course he won't. What will be the result of dipshit Donald's tax cuts? Dipshit Donald will get a tax cut. And you'll have the resulting decrease in spending. If I was a nominee, I wouldn't talk about anything else. So I ended up looking up a couple articles about the stimulus. What I was looking for was something explaining that the stimulus was too small. I went to Krugman because I know that he's written about that quite a bit. And while I don't always agree with him, he is kind of the expert here. So if we're going to be talking about Keynesian policies, he's kind of the best explainer out there kind of thing. So, and we're really lucky that he does as much explaining in what is essentially a public forum as he does. And I found one that explains that he saw the stimulus being too small coming. And then I found another one explaining the political disaster around the stimulus. But I mean, okay, but I mean, like let's do it right this time, kind of thing, right? Like, I don't think that. And what do you do? Do you say, the stimulus package was unpopular, so let's have a giant recession? Like, we have to find a way to win this argument, right? Like, it's the way that things work, right? The government has to spend money. And then, to my surprise, I find an article where Trump says he wants to outspend Clinton on infrastructure. Hey, the one that wants to spend the most is the best, right? It's just like the TPP, though, right? I mean, just the other day he told us that Pence was running things, and you think Pence wants... I don't think Pence wants that, right? So what's... when's he going to walk it back, right? They both say they want infrastructure spending, and they're both technically right. But I don't believe either of them. Rather, I think that they'll both push tax cuts and austerity. I don't know how I'm going to get through this, right? I'm looking for information to try to convince Clinton to spend more, and I get an article with Trump saying he's going to spend more. It's like, It's a fucking disaster, right? Once again, I'm left in this, like distant point where I'm struck by the absurdity of what's in front of me here. I ought to be pointing out that it's good that they're both taking the right approach. They're both saying they want stimulus. But I don't believe either of them. I think they're both lying, and neither one of them will give us stimulus. And you know what? The evidence is on my side here. Meaning, I'm in the fucking ultra paradoxical phase again. Great. Just to close that off, there's an article by Krugman written today where he argues for the need for deficit spending right now. That's something else that was important in the election in Canada a few months ago, and he's very much right. So about 4 o'clock, my head's getting a little bit better. I'd say chances have increased to about 50-50. I'm still reciting. I just want to point out that I don't actually have a low battery. This is just being fucked up. I just want to point out that the buffer here with the heat pushing the air out here, I can hear the air conditioner upstairs. The air is just going crazy. But it's beautiful in here. Nice natural temperature, no air conditioning. Windows open, nice breeze, it's great. That's the solution to my problems, is just to keep this door closed and just push the heat out that way. And like I said, you can hear the air upstairs. The air is just like going crazy, and that's fine. I'm successfully deflecting the problem out that way, and I'm happy about that. Yeah, it's about 5:30, and I spent a little bit of time getting ready to go for the show, and I just don't want to go. I'm gonna end up smoking if I'm there. Um, my head is kind of still. I it's better, but I expect it to kind of come back a little bit, kind of thing. So, um, and I mean, I'm very comfortable down here. The temperature is perfect, um, and I don't really want to put clothes on and go out and you know. I think that last spring, the whole process of going out and going to see something, getting out of the house and getting some fresh air, um, and having a cigarette was something that I was maybe a little bit more excited about. Right now, I'm kind of more in a, let's stay in, let's veg, because and I mean I know ever since I came back, I guess at the end of May, starting at the beginning of June, when I had that detox weekend. And I only went to the one. I saw the Joy Formidable in June. That was the only show I went to in June. And then I went to see Swans in July and the Mother Earth show in July. And those were all three of those were A-list shows in my mind, right? Those weren't this is more of an experiential thing. I'm not really familiar with this. And I mean I'm going for the head cave, right? And my head's not in the space for it right now. Um, so I mean, I've skipped a couple of shows instead. If it was across the street, I'd go. I'm not sure if that's even true for this right now. Right now, it's that time of year where you just want to sit. You want to sit in a safe space without any clothes on, enjoy the heat, and ignore the world, kind of thing. That's I guess we all have different experiences for summer. That's my experience with summer, and I love it as much as you love your experience of summer. Right? It's just give me give me an abandoned backyard in the middle of nowhere. Um, you know, somewhere where I can just strip down to nothing and just sweat. Right? That's to me that's the greatest thing to do in summer. Um, give me some music to listen to, sure, but I don't need to go all the way out there to see it, right? Right, kind of thing, right? So it's um, last summer it was more I couldn't find anything to do. This summer, I mean, I went to some shows. In fact, I skipped a couple of shows. And there's still a few coming up in August, and I might change my mind about. Tonight, I don't. Like I say, I think if my head was a little bit clearer, I'd change my mind. Instead, I'm going to go get. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I'm going to go get some pop at the store. The coffee's been good and everything. It's just I need something a little bit more refreshing. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to drink it. And well, the show's at 8. If I wanted to get there seriously, I'd have to be gone. Well, I get myself an hour walk. And I even give myself a half an hour for the doors. Then it's yeah, out of here 6:30 at the latest. If it gets to 6:30 and I'm still here, I guess it's final. But like I say, I'm gonna go. I am gonna put some socks on and some pants on and get a drink, and then come back. But I mean, it may be a little bit unusual, but at this time of year, I would rather sit in my room by myself and drink a Mountain Dew than go out into a bar and drink a beer with people because I don't like people. It's I suffer people. um, yeah, so it's more. it was, see, Boris is in the neighborhood. If it was Boris or Melvin's, or I'm gonna miss Melvin's because it's sold out in 5 minutes, right? And I would have had to actually go down to the store and get a ticket because I don't have a credit card. But like I would have went to those. This is, God damn it, I'm still thinking about it. I'm pretty sure I'm not. The thing that's nagging at me is what am I missing? I'm missing Aaron Turner, the guitarist singer for ISIS, with the bassist from Russian Circles. The record sounded neat, but not, like the first listen through it was really, it sounded really, really good, but then the second listen through it it kind of got a little bit generic. See, right now as I'm talking to you, I can feel a little bit of a headache in my back, the back of my head, and that's what, yeah. Okay, let me get some pop on my back. Not only does it seem like the air's off upstairs, but it also seems like the car's gone, which to me is like, I'm not going anywhere tonight. I gotta take advantage of that. Yeah, so I think it's decided I'm staying in. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, I kind of feel like I'm choosing sobriety tonight. Um, no, it's just like I don't really feel like going out and getting baked and listening to the songs. Like I say, my head is not 100% yet. I would rather sit in here and listen to my own music sober. That's the truth of it for the night. I had mentioned that I needed kind of like a break in between like ideas, and I had pointed out maybe to go out and kill some brain cells when I come back. I actually think that the cleaning and stuff was enough of a break, and I am actually feeling ready to get back at things. So yeah, I've got a little bit of recitation left to do. I'm gonna try to push myself to be awake tonight. Like I said, I woke up around 6, and it's about 6 now, so I can probably pull over the next day at least. Once I get the recitations done, finish up the writing for 15, and actually start some listening. Like I said, part of it's the weather, but I just, I'm part of it. I mean, I don't want to get stuck in I don't want to get stuck in Detroit, right? Not for this. This isn't worth it. It's just, it's like when I went to see Tortoise, like I wanted to go on an adventure, right? I wanted to get out and do something, and like right now, I'm feeling the opposite. I feel like I want to stay in. I want to wear the least amount of clothes as possible, and I just want to veg. So, yeah. Sorry, Smack. I can't claim I'm a big fan, but and I do wish my head was feeling a little bit better for multiple purposes, right? I all around wish I didn't have a headache, but life is as it is.